ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Hello everyone and welcome back. It is match day number 15 over here for the ESL Pro League season number 6, and obviously we are the North American division, and once again I'm joined back with Mitch. It's been a good party these last couple of days and the party will continue.
It will indeed, and first up we're going to party with old mate Hiko and Cloud versus Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, so we did see Rogue yesterday, and they're fresh back into action today against Cloud9, who did just go down against Liquid inside the Epicenter qualifier. So a little bit disappointing for Cloud9, and I think we're talking about it a little bit earlier at the back as well. Cloud9 might just be looking to unleash a little bit of their pent-up frustration on Rogue, which is looking a little bit scary for Rogue.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that they just, that they're able to chill out and reset a little bit. I really hope that they don't just, go all out. Take out some of those frustrations on Rogue, and unfortunately Rogue might be the unfortunate recipients of that anger.
Because what else do Cloud9 have to play for? Like outside of all the qualifiers for the recent tournaments, I think that's it. There's no more qualifiers in terms of, well, obviously for the upcoming major was just announced, but outside of that, I mean, Cloud9 don't have to play in any qualifiers for it. Pretty much EPL is all they need to focus on at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah, I would have to say so. I mean, generally speaking, they didn't take out Liquid in that Epicenter qualifier, I believe it was, but they have Oakland coming up. I mean, Liquid will be at that event, and obviously, this will be a small opportunity, against a team like Rogue. It might not be their highest quality of practice unless Rogue is really on their game and pushes them, to the limit. It's just two different calibers of teams, but that's not really going to say anything because Cloud9, they're definitely going to need to practice for Oakland. They're not in the most fantastic form across the board. Some of their players are playing quite impressively, but consistency across the board from the individual players has not really been there, and their strategy doesn't seem to be, so many layers deep when you compare them to a team like Liquid, who just has that solid fundamental game plan and that base of, all the players' roles and all that kind of stuff being built up over time, and they're really starting to develop that. So they're looking really impressive heading into the Oakland, and we'll see if Cloud9 is going to be improving and trying to practice and all that kind of stuff, or whether they'll just be frustrated that Liquid's beat them in the qualifier and they'll be looking to, take the aim duels like they did against Splice, no respect, and just get the game over with.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the standings, and I think that also reflects on what Pilly was saying earlier. Cloud9, normally expect them near the top for the Pro League. They're actually closer to the bottom as opposed towards anything else, alongside with the other three developmental teams in complexity.
Look at Immortals. They're making the comeback train up into the top 8. That's got to be great for them. They had a really poor start, especially with their roster issues and stuff like that. But even just playing with the coach and stand-ins and stuff like that, they're starting to really turn around their season and make a little bit of a run for the top 8.
Certainly for Splice as well. I mean, Splice, I would say, are outside odds in making it in towards the upper echelons, maybe sneaking their way in towards the Pro League finals for the North America side. But regardless, Optic, SK, and Liquid rounding up the top 3, which is now SK. They're slowly starting to make their resurgence back in towards the top. I mean, they did drop that overtime game against Splice, but I think that's just a little bit of a bump. A few things that they still need to work on, and it's just the SK gaming curse on Inferno.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly right. I mean, I would be a little bit worried as a team like Renegades being at the sort of 7-4 scoreline. Same thing with NRG. I would start to really get worried, especially if you haven't played some of the top teams.
They have been though. Like they've versed Optic.
Yeah.
They've versed Liquid. I'm fairly certain they've versed
Is
Misfits.
this Renegades
and
or
took
Misfits?
Renegades.
Renegades.
They've
Yeah.
they took Misfits down 2-0 as well. One of them overtime, but they did manage to take the overtime victory.
So they've got the harder games.
So
Well, yeah, number 4. If they've been playing all the harder series, that's really impressive from them.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain we haven't seen Renegades against Ghost, Complexity, Rogue, or well, we did see them against Splice, but we haven't seen them versus Rogue, Complexity, and Ghost. And that's normally where you see Renegades. They should be going up 6-0, especially the caliber of the team they have at the moment. They were struggling earlier on the season. They didn't really have a solid 5th coming into the lineup. Then all of a sudden, you know, they finally do have Naf, who we've hypothesized and talked about this, definitely fits in the role. Everyone's now feeling comfortable, and all they need to do is just slowly push forward. I mean, surely didn't qualify for IEM Oakland, lost towards Optic in the finals, but that's like, you know, you lost against Optic, you went really close, 2-1. Your lineup is probably about, I wouldn't say it's newer than Optic's, but Optic is definitely a little bit more caliber, just a little bit compared towards the players on Renegades. I don't think we've seen the last of Renegades just yet. And that's like, before it was kind of maybe a little bit as an Australian fan of Renegades, but also just if you took a step back and looked at it holistically, they're never consistent because the lineup didn't have consistency in it. But this lineup now finally screams it's got consistency.
I don't know. I'm still pretty skeptical because I really feel like at the end of that Oakland qualifier, they should have beat Optic by all rights because, you know, Optic had been a team for what, like, I don't know how long they'd been a team for, but in terms of actually practicing and coming together in NA and actually being able to, you know, properly boot camp and practice and prepare, like, they really hadn't had that much time at all. Renegades should have been able to take out that series, and unfortunately, you know, as is common with Renegades, even with the new lineup changes, I feel like a lot of those players have some big issues under pressure when it comes down to big qualifiers and games that really mean a lot in terms of making progress, going to international events. Sometimes they fall a little bit short. Sometimes people go missing in that one key game, and that's what really ends up being the death of them.
Absolutely. Well, let's bring it back towards Rogue and Cloud9, since, I mean, we did go on a little bit of tangent, but Rogue, obviously one of the developmental teams coming out from the ECA Mountain Dew League.
Yep.
They've done decently well so far, finally have a proper lineup, but like we said yesterday with all the food analogies, it was a great first half, but the second half, we wanted a little bit more out of them, and I think that's hopefully the more times that they play with this a proper 5-man roster coming in towards the Pro League, alongside the other 2 Mountain Dew developmental teams like Ghost as well as Splice. Splice, actually, when you think that they're a developmental team, it's like kind of weird if you think about it, because they probably are playing the best Counter-Strike out of all of them. They have a lot more experience in comparison.
It's really hard to say with Splice because I feel like they have, you know, plenty of experienced players, and I mean, all of them really, except for maybe Drone, are very experienced players in terms of playing, you know, at least a decent level of competition and being familiar with that. So, I mean, I feel like the way that they play is like they've got pretty solid fundamentals and solid game plans and stuff. Their strategy, especially on their map picks, seem to be really well thought out. But when they play that upper caliber of teams, they don't really have the performance there from players like Drone and Roker and stuff like that to really push them over the top. And I really feel like when they're playing the better teams, some people sometimes fail to show up, and that's the really big issue for them. As for a team like Rogue, I mean, they're steadily on the improve. The game you were referring to that we watched yesterday was them playing against Liquid, and they went down 16-8 in both maps, where they had some really strong first halves and some really strong performances from some of their players individually, and some of their players just really fell short and weren't able to perform. Hiko notably being one of them, where usually he's been really the one stepping up, and I feel like Hiko's role is really badly defined in this team so far. Sometimes we see him just really comfortable, like running in first and getting multiple entries. We saw that him doing that against Optic, I think it was, when they played a little while ago, and some other teams as well. Like, he really takes that first in role, and he seems to be like entering for rats sometimes and like really opening up the bomb site, and then some other times he's like supporting, sometimes he's like lurking. He doesn't really have a clearly defined role, and unfortunately, especially for a team that's like fairly new on some of their players are fairly inexperienced. When the roles aren't clearly defined, they're like going to be quite confused about what's going on sometimes. You know, they're doing different things all the time. Sometimes it's just easier to
Absolutely.
clearly define the roles so people know what they're doing.
All right, let's take a quick look at the schedules today for what we have coming up. Like we said, we are covering 2 of the developmental teams, with Rogue and Cloud9 coming up first, and then Splice and Complexity, which should be a close I would argue a close game, depending on which complexity and which Splice show up.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the Davey playing the tactical mind games, or is it just going to be the Davey just coming in and just playing some, you know, shooty Counter-Strike on the mainstream? Misfits versus Immortals and NRG versus SK Gaming. No Inferno on that side, so you don't have to be too scared. Let's pick Cache instead.
Yeah, I mean, should be fairly interesting games on the mainstream. Immortals is looking better, so, you know, Misfits been fairly consistent lately. That should be a good match. NRG's actually been upsetting some, like, Tier 1 NA teams, so they should actually give SK a run for their money. They're steadily on the improve. I'm hoping Rogue turn up against Cloud9, and Cloud9 don't really disrespect them too much, and I feel like Splice should actually have the upper hand against Complexity. Both of them are sort of those lower end of the teams in sort of the Pro League, but I feel like Splice plays their game way better against teams on their level or teams that are a little bit worse than them, and players like Roker and Drone really shine against equal or lower levels of competition.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look later on, but you've already elaborated a lot of thoughts on Rogue so far. So coming in towards Inferno, it is Cloud9's map pick coming through this. Normally they pick it. I think they want to practice and get better at it. But so far, I would say that Cloud9, Nana might look a little bit shaky and Rogue might try to target there a little bit harder if their players are feeling pretty strong, especially Vice in particular.
I mean, I literally just watched them play Inferno against Liquid, which they just lost. But, you know, Liquid's quite good on the Inferno. I think, you know, Tariq and Rush kind of had underwhelming games, and especially Stewie, while Tariq sort of assumed the in-game leader role, has been very underwhelming compared to what he used to be individually. He used to be pretty much like, you know, pushing for that #1 player in NA sort of status. And now he's been like a lot more underwhelming. He's not picking up the AWP and going for those crazy plays as much. He seems to be a lot more reserved, and unfortunately, you know, you'd think that with players like Rush and Tariq coming in that the aggressive sort of firepower element would be accounted for and it'd be okay if he sort of steps back a little bit. But when those players aren't showing up and he's still playing very reserved, like there's nothing a lot really in the tank for Cloud9, and the only players really performing consistently well were actually Skadoodle and Automatic. So we'll see how it goes. If I'm a team like Rogue, I would have wanted to really watch that Epicenter game, because when you're qualifying for a major tournament against the other pretty much #1 team in NA, you're going to play exactly what your game plan is. You're going to take that game seriously, and there's going to be a lot of good notes for them to take. And it's not like it was a one-sided game. It was back and forth. So Cloud9 will have showed their hand in terms of how they play Inferno a little bit, and you'd be absolutely nuts as Rogue to not watch that game and have a think about what's happening.
And it's good as well for Rogue coming in that they do have some of the members all showing a little bit of form. You did say that Hiko went missing, but that's very uncharacteristic as opposed towards... We normally expect Hiko to probably have 1 or 2 clutch rounds or just go completely huge. Maybe he'll figure out exactly what's gone wrong. He's got experience to come back from it. But Cadian definitely had a really, really strong showing. I mean, first time he came in towards Rogue, it was an okay showing. I think there was a lot of times where it was okay. I mean, it's definitely showing that he belongs in Pro League because he's doing his job, but obviously not being a star player. Yesterday completely changed that. Both games definitely had star performances for the team.
Yep.
Wrath was only really noticeable on map #2, not map #1.
Yep.
So hopefully he's present for the entire 2. But Vice and Shinobi, I think, just had a good game, like a good series throughout, especially Vice in particular.
I mean, Shinobi's in-game leading, so in general his numbers across the board are a bit but you can kind of forgive him because he's playing more of a supportive role. As for Vice and Wrath, Vice has been relatively consistent, but the problem with him is that some maps he just goes completely missing, and then Rogue has like a very small chance of winning, because a lot of the times, especially in those big impact rounds that they're winning, Vice is like pretty much taking the team on his back and like winning XVXs when the rounds get close.
Yeah.
He's having huge impact multi-frags on gun rounds where like the enemy team is going to get reset and stuff like that. He's being that big impact player for Rogue. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, they've got another youngster in Wrath who has those impact entries and is more aggressive on that side of the spectrum. So he went really missing against Liquid. On map #2, he was quite a bit better, but I would say that his kills didn't nearly have as much impact as, you know, when Vice is on point, so to speak. So, I mean, yeah, I think the big thing for Rogue is that their individuals need to step up all across the board instead of just inconsistency and one player playing good, especially against the Tier 1, because literally we saw them play Liquid yesterday and they had a good half on either map, but basically, you know, if they don't turn up across the board, it's not enough to push a team like Liquid or Cloud9 over the top.
Absolutely. Even though Cloud9 have been underperforming a little bit, and I'd say underperforming given that, before that they changed the rosters, everyone expected them to hit towards the top of NA alongside with Nothing and Shroud. Obviously, they changed them out for Rush and Tarek, and success hasn't been replicated so far. I was about to say reciprocated, that's the incorrect word. Hasn't been replicated so far. I think a lot of people are starting to become a little bit wary and disappointed in Cloud9 to a certain extent because it has been a few months. You're expecting to see at least things change, but so far it seems like it's status quo. It's still shaky. It doesn't seem like there's as much strong fundamentals behind a game plan. Key players go missing. The only thing they can really rely on is probably just automatic at this stage. I mean, Skadoodle, by his nature, because he's a very flick-orientated AWPer, when he's on, he'll destroy an entire game. But it's like kind of like saying, it's like consistency like JDM, right? JDM is considered as probably one of the more consistent AWPers, but sometimes even he'll have an off day. And Scar will definitely have more off days in my mind compared towards JDM.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's just the nature of the system in Cloud9, which is non-existent and has been non-existent for quite a long time. They have flashes where they've got their game plan together and they really sort of get on top of things, and you see a really impressive game from them, and people go, oh, they do have tactics, they do, have a solid game plan, and they are able to get stuff together every now and then, but it's not a consistent thing, whereas Liquid have just built and developed this system the right way through coach and IGL, and, input from players in terms of how they're developing their system for maximum comfort and performance and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a complete opposite when you look at Cloud9 and Liquid, and they haven't, regardless of the changes, Cloud9 still haven't solved their biggest problem, and what has been their biggest problem for probably well over a year now, which is just lack of leadership.
Yeah.
Proper leadership.
Yeah, like a proper
and
IGL.
Consistent leadership, yeah.
Bring in structure so that knowing it's... I just go back towards, I think it was yesterday's Pro League match, or one of the matches where they versed against SK. I think it summed it up. They had the explosiveness where Automatic got 3 kills in the opening of B-Sun and Cobblestone, but no one brought the bomb. I think that just sums up Cloud9's issues in a nutshell, where they have the right idea where to go in terms of things. They have the individual ability to explode, either take a bomb site or hold it, but afterwards they have no, there's the small things that they're forgetting about because there's no one person that actually has, I guess, the mindset to delegate the task. I mean, when was the last time you saw time run out on a proper execute because someone failed to bring the bomb in Pro League? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I would say I can't remember the last time I watched Na'Vi play, so that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Fair enough. But it's just one of those rare things where it shouldn't be happening because there's a structure. There's one person who's designated carried it. If not, then there's a second person who will go back and get it. But that round, it just kind of summed up. No one brought it with them. And even though it was like a 4-on-1, it doesn't matter at the stage. You got 3 seconds. You got no time to get the bomb plan down. And that's it. It's over. And then all of a sudden, SK at a match point when you could have fought back and reset their economy. Such other woes of Cloud9. I don't think we'll see as many issues against Rogue this time around. They're going to use it more as, once again, a sounding board. They're going to try and test out a few more new things on Inferno. For Rogue, it will just be literally, can they get a point on towards the board in terms of a map victory? If they can get a map win today, they'll be very satisfied with themselves. I think they're very open maps, so it depends on the condition of both teams as well. Inferno as well as, I believe it was Mirage as the second map. We had different maps for all of today, which is kind of nice for once.
You said Cloud9 picked Inferno. Does that
Yes.
mean Rogue picked Mirage?
I think so, yeah. Rogue have picked Mirage before in the past.
I think that's not the greatest move against Cloud9. Their Mirage is pretty good and historically has been pretty good, especially on the CT side. Automatic's insane at playing that catwalk.
I think it's Mirage because it's either Mirage or Cache, I'm fairly certain. Or because I think the 4 maps we're doing today, if I remember correct order, it's like Inferno, Mirage, Cobble, and then Train.
Okay.
From map
Another
number 1 to map
Train
number 4.
series, fantastic.
You're not a big fan of Cobblestone, I know that by now.
Cobblestone, it's alright.
There's not many people these days inside the Pro League scene that are a massive fan of Cobble. I think a lot of people have been saying that it's become a little bit stagnant, dare I say. It's become a little bit worked out. I mean, you were talking about you found the sick flashbang for side halls.
Oh, yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, inside the Pro League, and a lot of pro players have actually been saying that it's become a little bit boring.
Well, yeah, people criticize Dust 2 for that reason, but I feel like Cobblestone's pretty much became Dust 2.0, or Dust 3 maybe. Because basically at this point it's become just as stale as Dust 2. I feel like drop is like the same sort of area as like middle on Dust 2, where you can like make a solo play if you want. You throw the smoke out to one of the sides of middle and like try to lurk your way out and cause rotations, and then you have the B plat area, which is like B tunnels, and then you have like the long A area. It's like literally Dust 2 in a nutshell. Like Catwalk could be danger. It's almost like a very, very similar sort of map setup, except the only difference is that it's more like straightforward in terms of the way that the sort of map areas are designed to work, and also the fact that the angles are a lot closer, which makes it a lot more annoying against pistols and like shotguns and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it feels a lot like Dust 2 to me, and the way that it's getting worked out and getting staler and staler. It's even like it's Dust 2 in like another form, but it's less sort of related to Counter-Strike in the way that people sort of see Dust 2 as the like Counter-Strike map. So it's almost like a worse Dust in a way, in my opinion.
How do you think they should change it then?
I mean, I don't like either of the
we can
maps.
hypothesize.
Yeah.
Like, say for example, if it's taken out, then what should the next map be?
I don't like either of the maps, so I want Tuscan maybe back in. That would be nice.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen for a while.
Probably not.
Let's get into the game. Cloud9 just going to be coming straight towards the B side. Double nade just to punish any over-aggression. But Vice, oh my goodness, there's 4 members on the side of Rogue. They flash back in to try to re-aggress. Dewey2K just jumping, will spot 2 heads. They're going to go straight back towards the A site instead. Vice, though, pushing in. Knows that they're not there. Knows it's going to be A site. They're pushing right behind. And they may just be caught out because the C team pushed very quickly. But Skadoodle's aware of the flank potential, but Rogue's pistol's just a little bit too strong. Once again, just playing aggressive, taking control. Now the app steal, Cadian will be able to drop the bomb carrier as well. Although he gets traded out by Tarek, it's still a 1-3. Doable though, considering Wrath is low and Shinobi doesn't have body armor.
Decent plant for Tarek, although he's not really... He's basically just going to have to take the aim duels. He won't be able to cover it from every single angle in pit. Looks like Wrath pushing his way up through the carpets, making a lot of noise to bait for his teammates in Diggity. Tarek's not hitting any shots until he manages to readjust onto Shinobi. Takes out Wrath because he's on very low HP, and Hiko just very smartly throwing down the smoke and just playing it patiently. Tarek can't know if he's on the defuse or not, so I mean, he has to swing wide to sort of ensure that Hiko is not straight defusing that bomb, and when he does, Hiko just punishes him for it. So a little bit closer than it could have been for Rogue. Vice starts it off very nicely with the 1B on Nana, and as soon as he does that, not only does it halt the Cloud9 push, but also the stack that they see there means that they have to slow down the round, and Cadian really capitalizes on that by pushing apartments there.
Alright, so very early tech pause coming out, so players just have to resolve issues.
Yeah, unfortunate. Happens when you're playing online matches. You know, there could be a million different issues. Computer, ISP, you know, I don't know, your mum's yelling at you, something like that.
Ganked by mom.
Yep.
The classic gaming favorite.
It is. I wonder how Cloud9 are feeling.
It's time to eat dinner. Not right now, Mom. I need to finish this competitive Counter-Strike game.
Oh, Can't
you pause it?
No.
Tech pause.
The other day I was playing PUBG and my mum knocked on my door and I had to quickly get up, and I pretty much like rolled over a car and blew it up and killed my entire squad.
Oh dear. We're back into action though. No explosions happening just yet, so Cloud9 not going to roll over just like Peely's driving skills.
Definitely not the greatest. However, let's see if this B push will be a little bit more successful. One flashbang on Tarek. They just have P250s and Glock. Shinobi's ready with the grenade in case they start to push in, so that's going to do probably quite a lot of damage. Hiko getting caught out there, but he's going to be able to spray down 2 before they get too close. Interesting re-peek on half HP, but works out for him decently enough, and they do shut down that Cloud9 eco. So with that bomb plant in the previous round, despite not winning the round, they will be able to buy up as they didn't invest too much, and see if Cloud9 can get on an early roll. They will be a little bit disheartened because they just lost this map in the Epicenter qualifiers to Liquid, and if they start to get off to a bad start against Rogue, it's going to start to feel like deja vu, and especially if you're feeling a little bit disheartened about losing that qualifier to Liquid, really not good to get off to a bad start against Rogue. Might start to get in your head a bit, Kev.
Still the opening chapters. You can't really judge the book just yet. A lot to be written about the story of Cloud9 and Rogue as they're looking to get progressive inside apartments. I like this push because it means Rogue, they trade out one of their guns. No, now 2 though, because there's no cover for Wrath. I preferred Hiko peeking out a little bit earlier. Hiko going for the 1-for-1. Can't land the sprayed on towards Skadoodle. Now down towards a 2-on-2. What was a promising start for Rogue. Just a brief, I guess, lapse of concentration has cost them a lot. And Vice is pushing in through Boiler just to make sure they don't have top mid control. But instead, Cloud9, they're doing the merry-go-round. They've gone straight back in towards the apartments area. Vice, though, still pushing. Vice! He will be caught out. Does not check his sector correctly. And now it's Scar and Stewie. The two S's pushing down through the apartments area. They'll be on the A site quite safely. Shinobi, it's gone pretty wrong for Rogue after... Like, once again, it was a great start. They got the opening pick, you know, as long as they... All they had to do was just use a single flashbang to make sure no one was mid. But Raz just sprinting out by himself, M4, wide swinging, gets punished heavily. And then Cloud9 could just take one-on-ones from there on in.
Same thing with Vice as well. Young talent, sometimes when playing a better team like this, you can turn your brain off a little bit more than you probably should. And both of them getting caught out in transition to a different position in what should have been really a 3 versus 2 and should have been a fairly straightforward round to sort of close out for Rogue.
In my mind, it should be in a 4v3. It's after they take that, you know, the boiler control, jungle guy will swing out just to make sure no one's aggressing. You use a few grenades and then make sure that his mates at Diggity can get out. Then you can play a numbers advantage. You've got the 4-on-3, you've dropped 2 AKs, you've probably upgraded one at that stage. No need to kind of push in further. But they take more and more aim deals which don't go in their favor. Cloud9 trade back. And then it's a 2-on-2 from there. Cloud9 have all the time in the world to work with, as well as the weaponry. Managed to make it successful. So Shinobi will save the M4 to the next round. Rogue will force up to try to combat and make sure they can stall Cloud9 out as Cadian going for an aggressive peek. Might catch one out. Skadoodle did cross back as now Cadian. Oh, barely misses the shot towards automatic. That might be costly because that could have been a sick opening for Rogue.
Really could have been, and their early round has been so strong, but they can't afford any more of these mistakes. Like, you can't, especially in a round that pretty much defines whether Cloud9 gets rolling in this half or not, or whether you get off to a strong start on the CT side of Inferno. You can't let Cloud9 get their foot in the game like that, and those key mistakes are going to be really, really bad for Rogue going forward, especially if they lose this round. Tarek's boosted up on the Diggity area, just looking for a pick into the pit, and Cadian, he's going to be posted up on that Moto area. They do have 4 sort of swung towards this A bomb site. Going to see if Hiko is going to gamble the rotate. Double aggression onto Diggity. They do spot out Tarek, but they're too scared to take the aim pool, and their, I guess, hesitation is sort of going to cost them until they start to walk into the crossfire on the side of Cloud9. It's working beautifully for Rogue. Cadian playing that off angle on the box with the AWP. You wouldn't expect that, and he's just dominating everybody from that site position. You'd expect him to be smoked off Moto, trying to charge through the smoke, but he's already repositioned in the corner of the bomb site, and he's taking you down one at a time.
And that's down towards the early rotation Rogue made as well. Hiko was allowed to rotate back towards jungle side, and Cadian's just allowed to sit there because there's no pressure coming in from Moto. And Cloud9, they don't take Nana control, so Rogue can feel comfortable in moving an extra player over. Imagine if there was a little bit, like, you know, one person who's exerted control towards top Nana, would have just made a little bit of a nuisance of himself, is just aggressive incendiary grenades to make sure there is no early Nana push. Very early expenditure from Rogue, but it just means that Cloud9 can't overwhelm them very easily.
Let's see if Rogue has learned from their mistakes yesterday, as when they did go up against a little bit of a force buy against Liquid, they tried to sort of take a bit too much control of the map. They tried to take too much initiative against the pistols, and it ended up costing them. Looks like now they will be playing fairly standardly. Cadian just AWPing that jungle line from the library. Looks like Cloud9 going to be walking up the B area, maybe for a little bit of an execute, as they do have pretty much three sets of utility ready to go. Molotovs and smokes. It will be Shinobi and Hiko in position to hold this off, but no Molotovs on either of them. Shinobi's just got a nade, flash, and a smoke. Hiko's got nothing. Smoke comes in towards the CT side, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a delayed push. They're just trying to bait out any Molotovs, but Rogue has absolutely none. So it's going to be on Hiko to really stop this aggression.
He's got no grenades, but oh, that is a sick grenade coming out from Shinobi once again, timing it. But he's going to be surrounded potentially. Does get taken out and gives Stewie an M4, and Hiko just swinging just maybe a little bit too wide. Does grant an opportunity for the bomb plant to go down and a chance for Cloud9 to take it. Still very limited chances, given that they do not have any more utility to use afterwards, and Tarek has to play aggressive, thinking about it.
Rogue have been great on these retakes, even yesterday.
The Rogue Sorry, I was
No,
about
go,
to
go,
say
go
that
for it.
Rogue are just waiting for an opportunity because they know Cloud9 have to try and get aggressive. And there you have it. Tarek, he has to peek out right now. He's going to be caught off guard. They don't know where Stewie is until Vice will be able to chime in with a pick on towards New Box. You can see Wrath didn't really have a clue, was spraying towards Nana. But it works out for Rogue, like you were saying yesterday. Their B-site retakes have been immaculate, but a couple of issues, I guess, coming in towards
What are these
the
odds,
B-site
Kev?
takes.
The odds are 1 to 3, really. That's your odds, Cloud9 versus Rogue. I would have gone for a little bit more skewed in the Cloud9 favor.
A little bit more? I don't
just
think
a
so
little
much
bit.
because it's if there's anything that you learn over these last couple of days if you're a Betway odds player is that there is always a chance for a team, even when they have the odds 11 to 1, that they can take it. If that's something you learn, and I wouldn't necessarily stagger all my safe bets on Cloud9. I wouldn't, like, if there was 2 teams at the moment that I've learned is A, you don't bet on SK and Inferno, right? B, you don't necessarily bet on Cloud9.
What is happening, Kev? Why has Skadoodle got an AK?
Big rig strat.
Yeah, I guess he's looking to take this round into his own hands.
I don't necessarily like it.
There he goes.
Well, where's his head at?
Yeah, look, Skadoodle. And then next round, he's not going to be able to get an AWP because he's bought AK and full util. Thought his team had the money in that was necessary to buy. And look, I hate to say it, Kev, but it's not usually a Cloud9, sort of level mistake, and might be a bit of a tilt factor coming in here. Rogue played that retake superbly, though. Communication on point once again. You can really see the cogs turning in the players' heads. They're not overextending. They're not playing with their brain off, unlike players like you and I may do, running into the B side thinking that you're going to take the aim duel with 3 different positions.
Yeah, why not? I have confidence in myself.
That's the main factor,
If it's
right?
a pug, I mean, I'll do it. If it's official, that's a different story. I mean, then the gears have to be switched on. As it is going to be a B-side take. Good flashbang just to push Shinobi off the coffins. But, the spray coming through from Hiko will catch out Rush. Bomb has been lost, and that is not a good smoke in towards CT because Hiko gets another easy opportunity just to slot Stewie 2K in the back ahead. So once again, Cloud9 do manage to get the bomb plant down, but Rogue, they've got 5 members up. They don't want to lose the gun necessarily because it's going to be a little bit, a little bit bad for the economy. Still a good pick from Tarek. It's not going to mean much at the end of the day. A single M4 dropped. Wrath going to be maybe a little bit angry.
Angry.
Why did he kill me out of everyone?
I
20% chance.
to the bomb site. Let's see. Hiko's sort of looking a little bit more alive today, as opposed to yesterday, where in the series against Liquid, he didn't do too crush hot.
But it's easier when Cloud9 have not really come towards B-side on a buy round. You can farm up so much confidence on the B site when you're in the anti-eco. Yeah, force buys and anti-eco is a completely different story when you actually have a full buy and a full execute coming on you. Then you're going to be tested towards that B site. How good is your hold now is the real question. Is Cadian is looking to get aggressive once again, and why not? He's been playing very well so far. Look at this. He may have been spotted out, so he's just going to back out in time. Looks like he has worked out in the timings and the rotation because he is playing the dynamic angles that you expect from the AWP and always unsettling Cloud9.
I like it. It's good.
He's done his homework, and
yeah.
you can see, like, I think in the first week, I believe they played Inferno, looked a little bit rough. I mean, he knew where to go about probably 70% of the time, just couldn't connect the shots. But now it's like he knows where to go, like almost 90% of the time. He's always going to the area where it is going to be challenged or he gets information. Cloud9 do have to push him off, and he can suss out, the respective amount of numbers, and he falls back to a safer position. And once again, there's no Nana control. Look at this gamble coming out from Rogue. They just go, no, Cloud9, we know they're not going to go towards... Oh my goodness, Tarek.
Why is he running out there by himself?
What is going on? Why are they all going one by one? They're getting knocked down like ants right now, and Wrath... Oh my goodness, they're just peeking in, and now Cadian can also come in as well. Misses a shot, automatic. Last man left standing after Rush is only able to pick off 1 on the bomb site. Still enough time for automatic to work with, though. He's got the bomb, he's got 36 seconds, he can hightail it back to B site. But Hiko knows. Hiko is aware he can use the Molotov, and they're just going to sit 2 people back. They'll let him come towards the A bomb site. There's only 2 places he can really come in from, and Rogue have all the sectors effectively covered.
Cadian opting up that diggity position. Vice just staying in position to sort of deny this balcony aggression. He's going to catch automatic looking at sight. So great job from him holding like a rock from the pit. And man, this is not looking like the top-level Cloud9 we're used to seeing. If I was Skadoodle's teammate so far in this map, I would be pretty frustrated because he's pretty much set the money of Cloud9 back 2 or 3 rounds in a row now with that AK buy, where the rest of his team's sitting up at around 4k and he's got 2.9. He's not got the money for the AWP the entire half so far, and when Cadian's just running around the map peeking out second mid and there's nobody there to shut him down because your AWP has gone and bought an AK in the wrong round, then yeah, you're not going to be happy about that. All the technical pauses coming out, the fact that you just lost to Liquid on Inferno. I know that as a player I wouldn't be too happy with these circumstances, and with the way that Cloud9's playing, it doesn't look like they are really all on the same page or 100% focused as they should be, and Rogue is showing up to play, especially Hiko.
But once again, it's on a buy round. They need to take this Nana control, and hopefully they do change things around next time because they'll have an AWP, they'll have AKs to play with alongside a full set of utility. They're just looking to burn away as much as Rogue's grenades as possible because there's only one downside on how Rogue play B side, and that's just their relative passiveness.
That's not even a downside though, because you can see that the way that Shinobi's set up is...
It's for retake.
It's for retake, exactly. Yeah. If the contact play does come out, they've got a game plan for that. As Tarek underarm flashing himself through the jungle smoke, Hiko in position to punish this arch push, but he's going to get traded out. Too many Cloud9 players to deal with as Shinobi rotates off the B site. 2 Cloud9 players running up Banana, so they'll be able to get the B site for free, and you cannot miss those shots against Automatic. He's going to rip your head off with the CZ, mate, as Cloud9 grab the bomb plot.
That's what I mean. It's that if you only have one person towards Nano and then you lose that jungle control, then there's going to be issues. So Cloud9 do sense a little bit of ability potentially to take the B side through a split take. 3 people coming in through Nana, and only 2 pistols, 2 P250s as well as a single AK for Automatic to work with. Time is ticking away though, very open plant, so many angles to check and no grenades for Rogue to work with. He's going to peek individually and Scar will find one with the crossfire from Stewie. Much better coming out on the side of Cloud9. Now Wrath, a lot of work to do, but he won't be able to find it, and Skadoodle will also pick up a free AWP as well. So a little bit of lapse of concentration coming out from Rogue.
That all came down to that aim duel between Shinobi and Automatic. He wasn't able to close that one out, and it means that Automatic's able to get arch control. It forces Rogue to all push in from one angle through the Banana, and the crossfire's absolutely set. There's no second angle to really punish certain positions, so they're able to play their comfort positions from the coffins and second oranges, and that's a damn strong crossfire when all the opponents are coming in from the same angle with no utility to spare. Looks like Cloud9 is sort of starting to recognize the setup of Rogue's defense as they really put a lot of pressure onto Banana, and looks like Rogue's going to get caught out of position here. That's unfortunate.
Nope.
3k from Stewie, not a 2k.
This is the explosiveness that you want to see coming out from Stewie. I don't know how he missed it on towards Hiko, but Automatic will at least finish it through the edge of the smoke. You know, I'd say Rogue just need to save right now. That's what I mean. It's Nana.
Now we need to see the adjustment coming from Rogue. They did try to put Katie in there, but a bit of a change up from Cloud9 and some good Molotovs is, you know, it's going to really abuse the fact that Rogue's playing so far up there in the Banana area, and they don't fall back, Kev. They choose to stand and fight, and it looks like they're really pushing this confidence game home, but at some point when you're kind of getting mollied off at every position, you know, it doesn't really matter how confident you're feeling and how warmed up you feel you are. You're still going to get traded out, and you're going to give Cloud9
oh, no, they're just saving. Okay. I thought they were about to run boost out and try to take the fight, but it looks like they're just stepping up, and free AWP actually in the hands of Ice. That's actually very favorable for Rogue.
Thanks, Bomb.
Thanks, Physics Engine. But this is what I mean. Single flashbang and allowed access. Katie, nothing he can do is deploy too late. It was a little bit unfortunate. I think Katie got the leg, and then, well, Stewie was able to react, but a single
even if he gets
bullet.
the body shot there, though, like he gets
matter.
one and he's dead.
Yeah.
That's it. Same.
One and done.
Yeah, same set of circumstances. Now here's a change up from Cloud9. As the B attack works from them, they're instantly going to go back towards A, anticipating the change up of a setup from Rogue. And just as we mentioned, they do indeed change their setup. They're going to put a lot of pressure onto Banana, but they need to realize that when there's no Nana presence, they're going to have to rotate off, and that's exactly what they'll do. In come Hiko and Shinobi. knife out running. They're going to actually leave Wrath. So previously in the game yesterday against Liquid, it was Vice and Wrath holding off that A site, but looks like they made a little bit of an adjustment, maybe learning a bit of player preference, or maybe they needed to change up the setup. Maybe it's just a one-time thing, as Wrath is the one that's left solo to play in Banana, playing for information. He has got the Molotov, so it's going to be a bit of a stack towards this A bomb site. Cadian's AWPing in the arch, though, so we'll see how this round does work out. I don't even think Cloud9 know where they're going yet. They're going to walk back towards Banana, so maybe a bit of pressure onto the brackets. They might leave Automatic back there to lurk brackets, as he likes to do. And as Wrath gets flashed off the line, he drops the Molotov. He cannot stay here. This is not a good angle for him to take. He can't take that fight. It's at best a 1-for-1, and he hasn't allowed enough time for his teammates to rotate in. So he's basically effectively given them a 1-for-1 trade and allowed Cloud9 into the bomb site. And now Rogue is just going to have to neck up and play the retake. And Automatic picking off Vice on the lurk is pretty much going to seal this round. So, you know, Wrath making that adjustment and being the player left on towards the B anchor, it doesn't seem like he knows what he's meant to be doing, at least in that round.
I would have thought, like, okay, Molotov, so what you do there, he gets flashed off broken wall.
All right,
drop Molly right at the broken wall, flash and just book it straight out of there.
Exactly.
Just sprints, man. There's no point
sense,
fighting.
Isn't it, Kev?
We talk about it being common sense. I think it's also hypothetically, because when you flash, I mean, where you meant to know how to aim. It's like, if he hasn't practiced it, how are you meant to know? It's like, oh, I've got to swing my mouse like that and drop it off. It's not something that's 100% of the time intuitive, because normally you expect, oh, Cloud9 going to slowly walk and play contact at that time because they've got a lot of time to play. Single flashbang, he probably panicked. Where's my incendiary? Oh, throw it too deep. There's a flashbang. Oh, I can't get out now, because at that time it was too late.
You can't make that assumption. It's just, yeah, it's not kosher halal at all.
It's not what?
Kosher halal. Triggered once again, Kevin.
I'm going to go haram on your butt, bro. Rogue, don't. Tactical pause, and I agree with it as well. They've dropped 3 rounds in a row right now.
That's just incorrect decision-making from Wrath there, unfortunately, for the second time this game. And look, I don't like to single out players. Actually, I do. But
I don't like to single out players, but here's a problem that this player has done.
But it's the second time. It's the second round losing mistake that he's made so far this game. The first one in Diggity, where he gets caught off by the players pushing brackets, and the second time being allowed to solo anchor that B banana control. You can't allow that to happen. You can't. There's nothing else I need to say in that scenario. It's just. It's not halal at all. I
agree with you. Well, I do agree with you in that sense, because in my mind it seems so clear to me, and if it seems clear to me and it seems clear to a lot of people, why didn't Wrath do it?
It might be nerves, or it might be the fact that he's just so focused on the game that he's stuck in his thoughts and he's not thinking straight, or it's the fact that
the pixels as opposed towards throwing the pixels.
Yeah, perhaps. Or it might be the fact that he's got 17 people in TeamSpeak all talking at once and he's trying to work out what the hell he's supposed to be doing. That's something that, happens sometimes. It happens to the best of us, and Russ, pretty damn good.
I think there's one word that I can say. It's just pushies.
Pushies. They pushies, and he was unable to hold these.
Playing a little bit of fire right now is, oh my goodness, Vice is just waiting, and Tarek does not check the angle. That's really smart play. And look, there's an adjustment from Rogue. So on the back of that now Boiler aggression, then they throw a flashbang to mid to make sure they get out safe, and they'll just go back on towards the bomb site, safe and sound. Rush will hear Shinobi drop down in towards the pit area, but Cloud9, like I said, they've made an adjustment this time around. So even though they're taking top mid control, they have left one member towards the B site, which is going to be Skadoodle with the AWP. But necessarily, I don't agree with actually keeping the AWP as the anchor towards the B bomb site. It's, if you do get flashed and you get overwhelmed, you miss a single shot, that's it, you're over and done for. And sure, we're talking about Scar, right? But
it's not too bad in this scenario, because he has, number one, made sure that they haven't come to look for control of Nana.
Yep.
Number two, he's expended a flash and a smoke, which would potentially bait out any Molotovs. Not that, once again, Rogue has any, which they don't. And now Cadian in position to make a big impact in this round, but he's going to get flashed off the angle, and that's a good opportunity not to re-peek, as Skadoodle was pretty much posted on those coffin angles straight away as soon as the flash came out. So good decision-making from Rogue. Do not re-peek in the 5 versus 4. And now they're going to surround for the retake, and their B-site retakes, as we've said, have been on point. Patience has been very good from them, and although they lack a little bit of the utility apart from the flashbangs, they are going to be poised for this retake.
Good Molotov, just buying time. Rogue really only have 2 avenues to enter right now. One of the avenues is going to be Coffins. No one coming in from Nana. There's the first flashbang. They're pushing forward right now. The fire coming in from Automatic and Stewie is strong, but so is Hiko's. Now Rush will strike from Newbox, and Skadoodle is just focused. He's now made presence. Rush is still alive, and Skadoodle and Rush will be able to close it out from Newbox and Nana.
Can we get a replay of that flashbang that went to Nana? I don't know if we can, but like, there was a flash that went off the wall. Cadian was posted on Coffins. It went directly behind Coffins, and he got full white. It wasn't even on his screen. It was a team flash. Like, unless Cloud9 threw one out, which I'm 90% sure that they didn't.
They only had a Molotov, didn't they?
Yeah, that's not how that's meant to work, game. Like, the flash went in towards Nana, and he's playing behind Coffins, and he gets full white. That's BS, mate.
1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, as now there's a second. Oh, no, okay. Vice may retrieve the AWP. There you have it. He's going to pick up a kill as well on towards Automatic. So once again, they do have the numbers advantage, but this Nana aggression, when they have the numbers advantage, I don't necessarily agree with it. You can kind of fall back and play the 4-on-3.
Yeah.
Now Hiko's got a lot of work to do, and he's got no body armor to do it as well. Molotov towards back of sight. Cloud9 have one less angle to worry about as soon as Coffin is smoked off. Vice is going to push forward as well. Hiko, you can't just shoot your teammate like that, but it doesn't matter because he'll be able to take down 2. Now Skadoodle, 1v2. He's not that good with AK-47 as Hiko with no body armor. Doesn't even get tagged.
You don't need armor if you don't take damage, Kev. It's a waste of money.
Exactly. Hiko. Look at that, just dropping it for Marso, making sure all the boys are kitted up, making sure that they have a good time at Counter-Strike school.
He's definitely leading by example. 16 for 6, complete turnaround from his performance.
Yeah,
I think yesterday against Liquid he was 6 to 16.
Yeah, he definitely was having a very rough game yesterday, and now that's the thing we're talking about, the explosive X factor. Most people in that position, no body armor, single M4, no grenades, and the caliber of the entry coming in down on you, for you to peek and still get so many kills, well, it just shows that you can never kind of count out Hiko. I never can. Like, even yesterday, I was like, all right, even if it's the last round, okay, I'm still waiting, you know, I'm still waiting. Hiko could potentially have an impact in this round. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that's just... There's very few people that has just that raw explosiveness where they just, in a single play, can make something work out. And sure, Rogue have dropped 4 rounds, but they do manage to at least take 1. It's their economy not in the best shape, but Cadian, we once again started off with another AWP pick. Can Rogue back this up? This has always been the question. Rogue, great start.
It's going to force
Where's the middle part?
Aggressive up into the brackets, but Cadian posted up in the library. He's about 7 steps ahead of C9 at the moment.
I wouldn't say 7.
I don't know.
Just a single.
Just a single?
Just a single step. But now Automatic is now 2 steps ahead. He doesn't... Now he's 3 steps ahead because Skadoodle's got a headshot on towards Cadian. Library's open, and they've effectively split off the CTs rotating across. They're not going to expect Automatic coming out through CT just yet.
Shinobi's in position to punish.
He's in position,
this,
but he doesn't
might
know...
Overextend.
Yeah, he doesn't know that Automatic's already made his way so close. They know that there's a CT threat, but they don't know how close it actually is. And look at that. It's not going to work out. Hiko's still alive, and Hiko spraying through won't. Oh, we'll be able to find it. Stewie just going for the knife or for the pistol? Regardless, doesn't work out. Rogue will be able to hold the B side.
Yeah. Luckily, Shinobi doesn't overextend there. I feel like if Automatic gets that kill, even with 20 seconds to go, then Hiko... Things are starting to get a little bit hairy for him. And fortunately, Shinobi manages that 1-for-1, and Hiko's able to close it out. And he's having a hell of a game, Kev.
Absolutely is. I mean, we were talking about the anti-eco being potentially a thing, but it's not just anti-ecos anymore. It is actually the buy rounds where Hiko's making it work out quite well, denying Cloud9 a few opportunities and a very, very strong start towards the first half, but they can't let this intensity drop. You don't want to be giving up 2 more rounds right now if you're Rogue. You want to be cleaning out this 10-5. Would be such a solid foundation to be working on. But Rush, oh my goodness. Sick entry coming out from Rush, just strafing across, single bullet. Good night, Cadian. Normally you expect Cadian to get those entry picks. Doesn't work out this time though.
That happens to you in matchmaking. You're definitely dropping a report on Rush there, for sure. That's such a sick shot. literally just the
That's
counter
why I don't like
straight.
holding the angle, because a lot of people do kind of pre-spam it these days.
That's such a hard shot to hit there. Katie should
Rush.
get that, and you might lose 50 HP there sometimes, but against Rush, it's just sick. Rogue taking a huge risk here, stacking towards the A-bomb site, and it's not going to be the correct call.
Just save for the final round. They don't have the best money. You take the AWP, you save the rifles up, you're still combat effective.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Cloud9's money is a little bit sketchy anyway. They had to buy up the Galil on automatic in this round. Sui had very limited money there. Might have dropped one of his teammates at Galil or an AK or something like that and just gone with the P250 no head armor. So far, once again, Rogue with the back and forth half, but as we saw yesterday, they didn't tend to fizzle out after one strong half against Liquid. Hopefully it won't be the case here today against Cloud9. Hopefully they'll be able to keep things on point and keep the game competitive. But, you know, Hiko's been absolutely on point, and another person who's been impressing game after game, his game-to-game consistency has been impeccable, which is not the same, I can say, for the rest of his team, is Cadian.
Absolutely. Cadian's just been stepping up every now and then. Sure, he got killed, but that I would say, would be a massive entry coming out from Rush. Cadian was trying to change up the line. That was the first time he played Apps the entire time with the AWP, was looking to get a very easy pick. Not every single day you see such an amazing entry coming out to give Cloud9 the opportunity to rotate back towards the B site.
It happens sometimes. There's nothing else you can say about that.
It's the nature of Counter-Strike. I mean, online, it's a lot more difficult to respond. At LAN, you'd kind of give it more towards Cadian.
Probably. So, pretty much full buys across the board for both sides. Nade goes down to the bottom of the Nana as C9 just going to play this one fairly standard, not going to do any gimmicky rush strats, just going to slowly take control of the map as they should. Hiko throwing a flash over the top. He's going to let Shinobi go for a bit of information there as they have smoked off the top of Nana, so a little bit of a Nana retake there from Rogue just to keep Cloud9 honest. They don't want to give Cloud9 control of top Nana too quickly.
Yeah, show themselves a little bit, make a little bit of noise. So Cloud9 just sit there and go, okay, should we use utility to take, you know, top Nana? Probably have to use a single flashbang now.
Probably a Molotov, maybe. Probably, maybe.
Yeah, there's a Molotov. There's two Molotovs. There's a smoke coming out from Shinobi. Probably a little bit early. Didn't need to blow it so quickly, but just wants to make sure that Cloud9 don't just charge up immediately and try to overwhelm the site. They still have time to play with. What is Cadian doing?
Cadian.
Okay, he was like kind of spotting towards a different angle. Maybe he was playing anti-flash, but it was an odd position for sure. But now it is going to be 3 towards the B-bomb site. Vice playing that rotator position.
So usually you'd want your AWPer to be falling off jungle at this point, but when you're sort of 3-stacking B, you want to go for the info a little bit more. But Cloud9's got a really good read on this round, and Rogue...
Poor Wrath. He's got to go huge right now, and I don't think he has the ability to do so. He's been left out to dry. Rogue tried gambling in the final round. It's not going to work out because they already managed to secure their way up, but what a shot coming out from Cadian to take down Skadoodle, and Wrath just buying time. Wrath drops the bomb carrier as well. Great shot from Automatic, but time's ticking away. There's no time for Cloud9. It's on the bomb side, and Wrath just single-handedly has just won it for Rogue. Huge plays coming out from Wrath. I was about to say, he was left out to dry, but he says, it doesn't matter. I don't need a team. All I need is a trustworthy AK-47.
Yeah, and a little bit of advice from Papa Hiko about how to hold the bomb site and multi-frag in the final seconds. And, I mean, there was a couple of rounds there where Cloud9 were really running out of time. It seems like they're not really all on the same page, and until about 40 seconds to go, they don't actually know what they want to do in the round. And that's kind of making things a little bit easier for Rogue when they're not fully giving themselves enough time to check all the corners of the bomb site on Hiko and Wrath.
All right, let's take a look and see whether or not Rogue can keep up the intensity this time around for match day number 15, just after 1.5 minutes of a break. Welcome back, everyone. So far, Rogue does have the lead at the halftime switch over 9-6, and they'll be going on to the T side. The odds still showing that it is heavily favored for Cloud9, but I wouldn't necessarily agree with that just yet, given that Cloud9 hasn't shown impeccable form, and that Rogue, they do have Wrath and Hiko firing up right now.
Yeah, I don't really know who's doing the odds, because when like the game was fairly close, the odds were like better, and now that Rogue's had actually like a pretty decent starting half off to this Inferno game, the odds are somehow better for Cloud9. Not really understanding that one, but anyway, we'll see how it goes.
It's updated, I think, every now and then, so it could have been updated just as, you know, as Cloud9 were on the upswing for their resurgence, which would make sense. But right now, what is not making sense, I guess, for Cloud9 is how they're getting taken to town by Hiko and Wrath.
Getting 18
and
for
Cadian.
6 in the first half. That's a vintage Hiko performance if I've ever
He's not
seen
20.
one.
He didn't 20 bomb. A little bit disappointed.
Yeah. He hasn't won yet, so 9-6 for Rogue. This pistol round's going to be pretty important for them. If they are able to actually take it out, you know, they'll be able to get up to sort of that 12-6 margin, which means that they're going to be able to sort of, how can I say this, have more room for error in their gun rounds and potential for more mistakes later on that sometimes they are sort of making because there's sort of that new team coming up in the NA scene. So good to give themselves plenty of room for error, because if they do let the game get too close, that one critical error that they could potentially make could pretty much seal the game for Cloud9. So flash and smoke onto Shinobi. Looks like Rogue is just going to reposition around to that second mid position. They are going to try to take control of the carpets and do some kind of an A strat. Rotation coming out from Skadoodle, who has got the kid in the smoke. He's just running his way over to library. Meanwhile, just the 2 players over onto the B site, just in a fairly standard crossfire setup. So no stacking maneuver from Cloud9, no real big information play coming out from them. Smoke off to the apps in the perfect sort of time, but Rogue don't care. They're going to jump out with the flashbang. Tarek playing anti-flash. He's going to get taken out by Wrath. So 1 for 1, but beautiful entries by Wrath and Hiko. Once again, Hiko's dominating Cloud9 in this game so far, and they're going to get the bomb down on A straight away.
Yeah, this is the perfect start for Rogue. Exactly what you want to see. And Cadian decides not to over-aggress, doesn't want to give Automatic any chances.
There's the 20 bomb cave. You happy?
No, the 20 bomb has to happen in a half.
So
Only getting 18 kills against Cloud9, not good enough, I say. Not good enough. Do I have to insert a massive, like, \S to that statement? I hope I don't, because, yes, 18 kills is good.
I got 18 kills in a deathmatch server once, so I'm
Nice.
pretty good too, man.
Yeah, I also did that, and I just sat tunnels the entire time with volume 1, no music.
Yeah.
Sitting like this.
Oh, that was such a great thread, man. Really made me laugh so hard. Just couldn't stop uncontrollably laughing. Good pistol from Rogue.
Excellent pistol. Now they just need to back themselves up and not walk into a like, don't drop the anti-eco.
Well, they're not Australian, so that's the first step.
They're not Australian, that's the first step, but they are well on the way to applying for Australian citizenship the amount of times they have dropped anti-ecos in their buy rounds.
That's what they say at the Department of Immigration. How many anti-ecos have you dropped?
So you're here for Counter-Strike, for an Australian Counter-Strike tournament. How many anti-ecos do you lose? 2 a match? You're in!
2 a match. Not enough, I say.
I think we do criticise the drop of the anti-eco a lot, because even though I feel like it doesn't happen that much in Australia, it happens enough to make it a meme. And it's happened enough towards these lower tier teams that it is a little bit of a meme, and now that flashbang's not going to affect Skill, and Cadian's going to walk straight into it. Shinobi comes in with a Mac 10.
Thank God.
Yeah, Mac 10 coming in huge, and Skadoodle just with the USP. Yeah, not much he can do. Might be able to get a headshot towards Shinobi. Lucky to do some more damage, but Tarek, there we are, has found the pick on towards Shinobi. They know where he is. We'll just be spraying him down, sprinting forward full force. And now Tarek might be able to find the opportunity through the edge of the smoke, but I'm fairly certain Hiko will be watching. No, it might be Wrath watching the angle as Hiko actually waiting for the smokes to dissipate for now. They just want to be playing safely. And there you have it. Tarek just runs out and actually picks off the bomb carrier. Rush! Oh my god, this is winnable for Rush right now. He's got a Mac 10 in hand and pushing out Wrath. Oh my goodness, this is going terribly wrong. Oh no, Cloud9, welcome to Australia.
You mean Rogue?
Not Cloud9. Oh, well, Cloud9 as well because I won the pistol. Either we're really good at pistols. But Rogue, welcome to Australia. Oh my goodness, I've been tilted upside down. I'm now back upright, guys.
How many degrees? Please give me a rough estimate.
I was already
Should
down
I get my
under, so
protractor
now
out?
I was already down under. Now I'm back around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold on, let me just get my massive protractor out and measure Kevin's tilt at the moment. Looks
How
like
does
we
that
are
happen?
sitting
Like,
at about 300
you would be
degrees.
suspecting. I mean, sure, that was insane coming out from Rush, but you used to be suspecting that someone's pushing out at that particular point in time, and there was just no cover, no trade, it was too late, and then they not only lose one of the AKs, but they could have built up such a great lead from there. Now they've been reset effectively, and Cloud9 are allowed a big, big chance back in towards this half, and it just happens every single time.
Surprised that there actually was no force buy from Rogue going into this round. I can actually understand why, because, you know, first of all, they are only at 10-7 scoreline, so taking a double eco at this point would really only put Cloud9 on 9 rounds, which means that it's going to be a fairly even game, and at that point the loss bonus is going to be pretty big for Rogue, so they're going to have a strong economy moving through the rest of the half. They really need to start shaving some of the guns off of Cloud9 though, because Rush was the last one alive left. Flash coming out, they are going to charge into this bomb site. Stewie's got a flash out, automatic holding it off, so no entries in from the side of Rogue, despite getting a pretty decent timing there as Automatic and Stewie, the Asian duo, in the nice little crossfire. Close
It's
it
pretty
out.
easy crossfire as well, and keeping all their guns up, they'll be very, very content. So even though the incendiary grenade from Stewie comes out just a little late, doesn't matter because Automatic had the angle under lockdown, and he's more than happy to take the deals. He's confident, he's ready to bring Cloud9 right back in towards this half of Inferno. And that is really the telling story, where Rogue, could have gone up 12-6. Really could have.
They're actually able to buy into this one, so...
They are, but they could have gone in, you know, against like a minimal buy, and this is such a good flashbang. Shinobi, it just makes me eat my words. The IGL of Rogue stepping up with the entry, showing that anyone can be explosive. Now Tarek, he's pushing out, will find one, finds out Wrath. Still downing around. He wants more. He's going back in for the re-engage. Oh my goodness. What are Rogue doing? Because he has caught them out. At the same time, Rush will be able to pick off one of the Lurk players. Heavy damage done towards him, but he's still able to try and chime in with the FAMAS. Rogue. Oh, Rogue actually just pushing straight forward this time, but they're going to be pushing forward towards Skadoodle. Skadoodle forward. He's going to have to reload, and Katie will just plant the C4 for now. 40 seconds. Time is ticking away. Skadoodle has a single flashbang to smoke with, but Cadian
wanting a huge clutch against Liquid from this exact position yesterday.
But there is a smoke here.
Yep.
There is a smoke. There's a flashbang, and Skadoodle is just going to be timing it out. There you have it. There's a smoke. Single flashbang, I'm fairly certain. Barring Cadian goes huge.
Skadoodle hasn't tapped it though.
Yeah,
so.
but he's won this. He's actually backed off.
Oh, Cadian just taking the gamble play.
Oh my
not
goodness,
even
it's worked
peeking
out.
First.
Oh, this is... Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
my goodness.
Has he got... He might have that actually. Yeah, he's got it.
No, oh, just. Like... I was like... Okay, 0.3 seconds. But I was just like, if he stuck it the first time, he would have won that.
Yeah, of course, but you can't really.
I would have gambled. I had the smoke. But once again, this is a 5-on-3. And it just goes wrong. Tarek is able to push forward. They all have their knives out. Where are the guns? Ready for this. And then Flashbang comes forward. Tarek gets another kill at that stage. It's already too late. Damage has been done. Lurk play doesn't work. And Rogue, once again, it's such good work at the beginning, but they just let themselves down. It's like watching my life on repeat. It's just hard for me.
I'm sorry, Kev. You
It's
can take
okay.
a little lie down if you need. As Rush smoking off apartments. Rogue will be pouring out once again. Wrath doing the quick U-turn into Diggity. Hasn't actually spotted Skadoodle up there on the flower pot, so Hiko the only one who's able to get any kills into this round. And Rogue have built up a strong losers bonus, which is going to enable them plenty of money moving forward in this half. But the only problem that they may face is the fact that Cloud9's got money for days. They've probably got at least 2 or 3 more, but never mind, they've gone into the double AWP, so that's going to hamstring their economy a bit. Maybe only 2 more buys left in the tank for Cloud9, so Rogue's going to have their work cut out for them, but no AWP on the side of Rogue is going to make it much more difficult to sort of ensure that they don't lose picks to this AWP unless they do use their utility correctly. Looks like they have something in mind here as they are quickly moving 3 out towards the apartments control, 2 moving their way up mid very slowly, so not giving too much away here, but Nana control has been obtained, which means that automatic will be pretty much knife out, running straight through the arch control, but don't know if he'll make it there quite in time to stop this execute from Rogue. So 3 on 5, U-turn from Vice gets him a 1-for-1. They do have an information about where Rush is playing from, but Tarek up on that boost. They haven't spotted him yet, but he gets killed from Hiko on the lurk. Trades going back and forth. We're into a 2-on-2, and the bomb's going down from Rogue, and they have utility to defend here.
But similarly, Cloud9 have utility to retake the bomb site as well. Cadian is in most likely a more instrumental position at pit. Automatic just trying to make sure that no one's pushing towards Diggity to try to get further information before they just group up. Smoke grenades most likely just going to go a little bit deep. They're going to try and isolate the site. There's a Molotov, there's a smoke grenade, and another flashbang, but Wrath just plays out in the open, definitely catches them off guard, and now Cadian, the edge of the smoke. Automatic does not spot him out. Oh, that's a beautiful Molotov. Automatic cannot stick on towards it. Really well played from Cadian.
He's been so good in the clutches.
That was not.
He's been insane.
Yeah.
Every time he just clutches these out, except for that last one, which he almost got against Skadoodle. The problem there is that Rogue lose so many players that if they lose this round here, it's going to be very, very hard for them to come back into this game. It's going to pretty much nerf their economy down to 0. They might have to go for the double eco. Cloud9's money also not looking too great. So this is a do or die round for both sides, really. As whoever does win this round is essentially going to grant their opponents at least one more round where their money will be pretty broken.
I thought of a really good joke.
Oh, God.
Bear with me right now.
This is where you just mute for the next 20 seconds or so.
No, just for
and
the next 10 seconds.
Just go grab a glass of water or something.
As Stewie's looking to get aggressive. Oh, that's a good flashbang. It does push him off, and Hiko spots him close, so he suspects that there is a little bit of action going on. He's just going to chill out, but he eats a nade for the troubles. I was about to just joke is that Rogue, if they do go on the double eco, maybe they should hope for the double Hiko. I'll be here all week, guys. I will literally be here all week.
Rogue grabbing control of Banana. They do have a light pressure on the apartments in the form of Mr. Wrath, young man Wrath. Quick group up towards the B bomb site, and there will be no rotation early in here from Cloud9. Stewie and Automatic have been sick at holding this B site so far, so they're going to rely on the crossfire from those boys. Skadoodle still in Moto. The problem with these really late rotates in from the A site, though, is that Tarek is the only one in the entire team with a kit, so Molotov coming out here from Cloud9. Stewie doesn't have any counter flashes for his buddy Automatic. Automatic drops the only flash that he has. Stewie's able to peek off of that and pick up Wrath. Automatic's going to run through the smoke. They are watching it this time, so decent trades across the board from Rogue, but they've lost so much health here. That's a sick gamble play from Shinobi, but he over-aggresses there. He got the one on Skadoodle. He should be happy with that and just back out at that point, but continues to overextend, and Molotov out onto the new box. Tarek has got a kit, so this is pretty winnable for C9.
Yeah, this is all down towards now Vice, who's left at the column. They know exactly where he is, and Rush, he's just too strong at this stage. Just popping off heads left, right, and center. So Cloud9, they do manage to get the reset working forward for them.
Luckily, this should only be a single eco here for Rogue, because they did get the bomb plant down. So just save this round, please, boys. I've seen too many CZ umpires so far. It's 11-11. Just give them the extra round. It is okay.
Do you know what the most factor that makes me so angry is that it shouldn't be 11-11 for Rogue. It really shouldn't. They took the pistol. They're going to go armor pistol.
They don't have the money for this. This is essentially forcing them on a double eco. So they're going to allow Cloud9 to get up to 13.
12. Well,
it's a double eco, Kev. They're not going to have money in the next one unless they get the bomb plant down for sure. They don't really have any money. Well, they have 2 smokes. That's pretty much it. So they're pretty much relying on a B execute to guarantee them the bomb plant here. But, I mean, we've seen Stewie and Automatic against an eco on this B bomb site so far. So I don't have high hopes or prospects for them to ensure this bomb plant here. Especially with the double rotate coming in on the side of C9.
They're effectively just gone. Yeah, they're 100% coming towards the base side. They are trying to make this slow war contact play, but where's the flashbang? They're still coming forward. This is really smart play. They're just going trying to find the timing through, but it's even better from Stewie because he realizes that guns are more stronger than just sheer manpower. Now it's all up to Hiko. He's managed to lurk his way around, but he's got so much work to do, and Automatic is aware of the danger. You can see that Automatic was just watching the smoke the entire time. Skadoodle. Shouldn't be copying the worst. Hiko dinks too, but Stewie kills 4 after the early damage towards Nana. Rogue were effectively doomed, and...
Come on, boys. What was that CZ by?
Hopeful.
The one person,
Ambitious.
the one person that's saved has enough money for AK now.
His Vice.
Yeah. I mean,
Armor CZ, boys! Let's go!
I don't rate that, but luckily it's not going to outright loosen the game. It's just going to allow Cloud9 to pretty much buy the rest of the half and have absolutely no room for error on the side of Rogue now.
I think it's like Rogue at this stage to me are like the tablets that dissolve in water. They fizzle, they look really spectacular at the beginning, but eventually they fizzle out and they're pretty pathetic towards the end. And that's, as harsh as that is to say, they had everything right for this half to work with. Took pistol. They're up at least 10-6. All the guns to work with, you got time to work with. Sure, huge play coming out from Rush, but then you drop the anti-eco. And you've just allowed Cloud9 to slowly come back from there on in, and you're not even giving yourself a chance by force buying rounds where you should be equaling when it's coming towards these close situations. You're effectively conceding 2 rounds as opposed to conceding 1. Now they're trying for a fast apps take. Tarek might be under a little bit of pressure. He has spotted out one to the side, but there it is. Rush once again. You can't be rushing on towards Rush because he's going to be shutting you down, and Skadoodle will finally get a piece of the action without being dinked out. And now Cloud9 firmly in the lead. A decent amount of money to work with. And Rogue, they should be able to get the AWP up and Cadian. But I've just got a feeling they've let it bleed away from them. No, Cadian doesn't even have an AWP. He only has a UMP. Look, oh my goodness.
All I'm saying is that you better have a damn good game plan if you're going to buy Armor CZ into multiple rounds to try and get A, bomb plants, or B, shave the economy down from your opponents. And look, just smokes and fairly standard set executes into crossfires and full utility from Cloud9 is not really going to net you a round. I mean, theoretically, it's the idea that you're setting up an aim duel or a situation for your team where you can potentially find yourself in a favorable engagement. But the truth is that unless you're doing something more gimmicky before you really initiate that set execute, you're not going to be able to get anything done. However, Rogue are getting a decent amount of work. Hiko doesn't even need to repeat this. He's in shorter 4 versus 4 for his team. This is really going to screw with the rotations of Cloud9. So he just needs to hold here for the aggression. The entire side of Rogue just needs to chill the hell out because Cloud9, they have to play 2 on each site. There will be somewhere that's less defended than the rest of the bomb sites, I guess, or the rest of the angles, you know. 5 angles and 4 CTs to hold them, or 6 angles and 4 CTs to hold them, rather. Vice smokes himself off again, so not the greatest, but there is 3 C9 players on this bomb site, and they could pretty much, they can know this, but they're still going to execute on A. They're just going to go for the 4 versus 3. Hiko and Shinobi combining, Wrath going in as well, so great round from Rogue. Good job from them. Obviously, that was a must-win round.
Absolutely. They do manage to take it, so some positive signs ahead for Rogue after the opening picks working out towards Nana. Now they're all just going to be sitting on the side. What is Automatic going to do? It looks like he is just going in maybe to do some damage.
I would say so.
Because that will be really good. Because Cloud9 can still buy up. Sure, taking an AK-47, a kit as well as armor is going to be beneficial for your economy for the long run in case Rogue do take more rounds. But Rogue are just going to try and nullify the threat by going towards Diggity as well as second mid instead.
Yeah, Rogue can't lose guns here. This is absolutely not a situation where you want to be hunting for Automatic.
I mean, Cloud9 can still buy up in the next round. Rogue still down. They want to be...
They lost one to the bomb. Not good. Shinobi...
I think it was Hiko, wasn't it?
I don't know.
They lost Hiko, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, that's really not what you want. You wanted to ensure that you take that gun away from the round because look at their money. They can barely rebuy. They'll have very limited utility on 1 or 2 of their players. Tac Paws out on the side of, I would assume it's Cloud9.
Correct.
And look, Rogue's got the AWP moving into this round, so perhaps Cadian can get something done with them. Some of their players are going to have fairly limited utility. And they're really pushing Cloud9 to the brink here. Better performance, again,
shouldn't have been pushing it. Should have been a clean shutout.
From Cloud9? After they won?
Rogue.
Oh, from Rogue,
From
yeah.
Rogue. After they won the pistol. In my mind, it should have been 12-6. You know, buy rounds could go back and forth, but you had control of the economy at that extent. You could really punish Cloud9, but that single round flipped it on its head. Where
It's
Cloud9
just the 2v1 though, Kev. Like, they set themselves up to even win that one, but just slight overextension. Rush went sick, but like, that player at Coffin shouldn't have even been peeking him. You just go for the contact play at that point. When he pushes onto the bomb site, just crossfire him out. You don't need to peek the guy with the CZ. I understand that he's got CZ armor and he shouldn't be able to tap you in the face, binking you, strafing right and left, but some people can do that. Sometimes that just happens.
Rush does it.
Yeah, Rush does it.
That's what I mean.
Rush does it for breakfast, mate.
It's like too overconfident to the extent where it's now cost you 7 rounds in a game that you do have to win. Right? You want as many wins as possible. Cloud9, huge scalp if you're on the side of Rogue.
The smoke goes on the roof from Cloud9. They were meant to smoke off the bottom of Nana, but it lands directly on the roof, which is going to mean that Automatic and Stewie, where they did actually want to take control of Nana, now they can't because they've screwed up their smoke. And if there's any round not to do that in, it's probably 13-12 when you're looking at a reset if you lose. Very slow play from Rogue. After the tactical pause, they were really expecting some aggression from Cloud9 to try and shut them down, but that's not what Cloud9 is feeling like. They're just going to play it very, very standard. So, Rogue, the world is their oyster. They have Apps, Brackets, and Nana. They, at this point, should have some kind of a decent game plan to close out this round, but they're playing so hesitant. It's 38 seconds to go, and they don't even know what they're doing, Kev.
Yeah, Scarred Hoodle will know what he wants to do. He'll get a pick on towards Vice, and the split, they have to go for this. They have to go for this B side take in my mind. 27 seconds left. They have to challenge this jungle player and try to slip through towards Archers. And there it is. Tarek is trying to lock down the line. Shinobi and Wrath have made it through on the back of that flashbang. Now Stewie as well as Automatic just need to hold off the non-aggression. There it is. Automatic will fall. Stewie needs to find one more. That's the bomb carrier right now. Shinobi will be able to take down Tarek, but this is all down towards Stewie at Newbox and Cadian. He has too many angles to check right now. 6 seconds. Time is ticking away. Stewie does not find the correct target. Bomb plant will go down just in time. Skadoodle now coming up towards Nana. Bomb plant has gone down. There is the Incendiary as Wrath spotted out, but will be able to safely cross back. Knows that there is an AWP towards Nana right now, and Shinobi is locking down construction as well. Skadoodle is now slowly peeking the angle. Cadian is ready and waiting. Rush going to jump up most likely towards first oranges. Skadoodle just trying to draw out the shot. It is going to work, but then almost line up for Wrath. Rush with the M4 will be able to take him out. They still don't know where Shinobi is. Shinobi will pounce from behind. Cadian shows the barrel of the AWP, but too many angles for Rush to check. Rogue win an instrumental round. Absolutely critical to bring it back towards 13 apiece. And now Cloud9 have a difficult decision to make, whether they want to eco for one, which they can do with a few dropped pistols from Automatic, or to try and force. A very difficult decision from Cloud9.
No, you're definitely safe here for sure. It's not a difficult decision because at this point, you would be buying down to $0, which basically what it means is that if you lose to Rogue, you give them the game. Whereas if you just give them this round, you give them the 14th, it means that you can essentially buy in the next 2 at least. And if you win one of those 2, then you can buy in the next as well. So you're essentially giving yourself, 2 in 3 chances at buying the 3rd round in a row as well, which gives you a decent chance at closing out the game. Whereas, I mean, it's pretty simple math, Kev. 1 gun round is better than 3 gun rounds are better than 1, rather, or 2 at least, guaranteed, and potentially the 3rd is better than 1, for sure.
Gun rounds are always better because it means it gets you the sweet arsenal as well as more utility. Cloud9.
You've got a pretty sweet arsenal, Kev.
I'm not even sure what that means at this stage. My mind is just focused on Counter-Strike right now. I'm not going to lie. This is now starting to heat up. All transgressions have been forgiven for both sides, because it really has now boiled down towards potentially the next 5 rounds, or 4 rounds. It could go in towards overtime as well.
Wrath's going to throw out the smoke towards jungle, so some progressive brackets control is not going to work at all with this scene line setup.
Close CZ control towards top brackets. They're actually just going to give it up, and they...
Oh
my
man.
goodness. Shinobi's going to walk straight into this.
35 seconds to go, and they're going against pistols, Kev. Get ready to put your head in your hands.
Oh, it was prepared from the beginning. Is now Vice. Shinobi's going to be found from behind. They know exactly it's going to be B site, and Stewie just lurking at the edge of the smoke. Automatic. Oh, he's going to be shut down by Hiko. And Hiko definitely needs to step up right now. Stewie finds another one. He's still got more bullets to work with. Hiko, another headshot. Hiko, can he find this through the smoke? Not just yet. There's a flashbang. Will the push from Coffins come out? It will, but Skadoodle's been completely blinded by it. And Hiko almost finds another one, but he's done the damage to bring it back for Rogue. Danny Hiko stepping up when it's needed, precisely where it's needed, but it's not over yet. But Cadian will at least shut it down with an AWP shot. We'll say goodbye towards Tarek. And Rogue, once again, back in the lead. Cloud9, though, now on the buy.
So Cloud9 buying up those CZ's armor and a lot of utility on some of their players is actually going to really sort of nerf their economy down quite a bit. Like, they might not even be able to buy again properly if they do lose this round, which is pretty contrary to what I thought. They bought everything that they possibly can, so this is do or die from them. So a slightly better buy than they would have had in the last round, but after buying those CZs and stuff like that, then it's a little bit questionable. I mean, I guess they did have a decent chance to win it, considering that they've been pretty on point with the CZs so far, so maybe it's a good investment to just give yourself a small chance of just winning out the game.
I'm just getting scared for Rogue. Normally we see them come towards the late game and it's just like, no, something's going to go wrong.
I reckon they've got this. I reckon as long as Hiko and Cadian are left in the late round instead of anyone else. Even Shinobi's been pretty good. Like, we don't usually see Shinobi stepping up, but oh, that was so close. Hiko with the shoulder step onto Skadoodle.
But he knows. He does it enough to see if he can draw out the shot and maybe take advantage, but he doesn't do it enough to really present a huge opportunity for Skadoodle. Skadoodle literally had to have the most insane reactions to hit the shot.
I'm really going to need Vice to work on that smoke a little bit more. I think he's missed thrown it a couple times now. At least there is a decisive decision coming out from Rogue this time. They're not split up with 38 seconds to go. They were all on B. They're ready to hit this execute. They've got a bunch of Molotovs. We've seen them do this new box and Orange's Molotov strat before. Hiko walking in contact without the rest of his team. This is sort of to bait Cloud9 into thinking that maybe he's just lurking it out. But Molotovs come out. No flashes are effective on Skadoodle as he gets himself 3. Vice burning out Stewie, and they're finally able to trade him, but a 3 versus 2 with utility to work with from Cloud9. It's all on Cadian to get picks with this AWP. There's one for him. Beautiful start from him. And a 2-on-2. Oh, Shinobi walking out into the open in transition to Newbox gets caught. And Cadian once again to step up for his team.
Oh, he's taken one shot. Oh, he lands it on towards automatic. Should know that now Tarek is tagged down, but he may not have seen the blood splatters. He's still got the AWP out, and he will land the shot. Cadian bringing it back towards old school Counter-Strike, clutching it out for Rogue. Now Rogue have 2 match points to work with.
That was a sick round from him, and he's been so sick in the post-plants and the clutches, and Cloud9's freaking broke, man. Absolutely broke. They're going to try to go for FAMASs, CZs, a Bison on Rush. He's done with life.
Oh no. I've seen
He's
this
got full Karat.
This is the exact buy I got.
He just throws it on the roof.
Oh no. I swear, it's not a terrible gun. It's just an absolute garbage gun. Put it in the bin, Rush. Don't just throw trash anywhere. It's littering. Very bad. Cloud9. That Biz and buy, it's not going to give him the best opportunity. Now they're just slowly walking up towards Nana. Rogue have had enough. They are waiting to see if they can make contact. And Stewie, he's peeked out. And there you have it. Automatic has to go huge to the UMP. Finds Hiko. Spray coming forward, doing a little bit more damage. Stewie's still holding on, though, towards the second Oranges. Not really shifting his location, but they just line up for Automatic through the edge of the smoke. Huge pop flash coming out from Automatic. Now the spray coming forward. Shinobi finds a second. Doesn't realize there's a third one. All of Cloud9 are around. And surely they should know that there's pressure coming in from Nana as well. Because there you have it. Rush is already just tucked in, ready to go in as soon as Rogue try to collapse on the site. So Cloud9 given a little bit of life coming in towards the final round. Rush now making his move. Should be able to take down Cadian. Would not be suspecting this, and this should be all over. Tarek and Rush. Once again, the new pickups for Cloud9. Bring it towards the final round of
What
regulation.
happened to Rogue's economy?
Oh, it's now dead. It died.
No! They're so close!
That's the story. This has been the story of the tablet which has been dropped in the water. It's just fizzled. No, it was like a really beautiful start. You're like, oh no, okay, fireworks show. Amazing opening for the fireworks show. And then towards the middle part, it's just like, you know when you're sitting there for fireworks and you're going, is it over? Is it like, this is the ending? It's not really that impressive. And then suddenly, you know, there's a massive kind of explosion. You know, now the action's kicking up. and then we don't know what's happening. We're currently at the final seconds of the fireworks show. Maybe not even the final seconds. Maybe it's just the interlude into the next act of the fireworks because we'd be going into overtime.
All right.
No?
Yeah, sure. That was,
I mean, yeah, sure.
that was decent. I'd say it's a 6 out of 10. Not
6
bad.
out of 10? What am I going to do to make everyone happy? It's going to be someone's like, yeah, I appreciate a fireworks analogy. And then I just have, you know, just Mitch here just going, nah, it's not that good.
Look, honestly, Kevin, I'm only harsh because I care about you. And I want you to be successful in all of your endeavors.
Oh, Stewart's got a really fast timing. They run boosted, but he's just going to back out. I thought he was just going to just charge straight towards Nana. He had potentially the best spawn, the best jumps.
The hottest dudes. Taking control of the carpets and a little bit of mid. They haven't really pressured Banana too much, which is going to allow Cloud9 to maintain control of the top of Banana. Let's see if Rogue does fall back to sort of push Cloud9 off that Banana, but they're actually going to fall back by themselves. So I guess sort of responsible play from Cloud9. They don't want to get pistol rushed and traded out there at the top of Nana. Rogue will be mobilizing themselves towards the top of mid. Smoke's coming out, but they're not actually pushing yet. Skadoodle, if the flashes are actually effective this time, he may get caught out in this diggity position. He is not backing off for anything, and they're not pushing up quickly enough. They just grab control of that brackets and then they stop, and Skadoodle's going to take full advantage of that. 3-4 kills to him. Too easy at that point, and now we're going into OT. That's crazy.
Overtime Dream continues on match day number 15. I'm not sure what to make of that. Like, half my face at the stage is kind of like, it was well played from both sides, but it's also kind of like, meh, because Rogue shouldn't have let it get back to here. They really shouldn't have. And this is actually a great time to probably put someone towards Cloud9 because those are not odds you normally see for Cloud9 in a match like this.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, that's, to me, right, Rogue should have won. 100% they should have won. They have actually, they did the good work at the end to kind of bring themselves back, but they should have won a lot earlier on. They've given Cloud9 a massive way to come back into this game. And sure, it's just the first map. It now means that the points are not going to mean as much going in towards overtime, but still, Rogue should have won in regulation time.
Look, I love you boys, Rogue, but I got to say that I agree with you. They should have won. I think they got both pistols in this match.
They did.
It's been pretty much best case scenario for them. And let's be real here, Cloud9's playing like not even their B game, they're playing like their C game at this point.
Except for Skadoodle, who's hitting his shots.
Well, he was hitting his shots against Liquid as well, and the others, except for Automatic. Him and Automatic have just been rocks, pillars of consistency, at least in today, playing in Epicenter and playing in this one.
Because I look at one of the previous rounds, right? When they come towards the B site, slow contact play, good decision, but Skadoodle's there, kills 3 of them.
Yeah.
Next round, final round, kills 4 of them.
Yep. Really well done from him. But, like, just all of this stuff combined in terms of how Rogue should be playing in this game, you know, they're having best case scenarios a lot of the time. Sure, they got 4 sport, but that's just a sick play coming out of Rush. That happens sometimes when you're playing a team of this caliber. The individual players can set you back, but you have to be able to overcome that to be able to be, you know, a high caliber team, you know, just in general. And if we look at the facts here, you know, things have gone pretty damn well for this game for Rogue. Cloud9's not playing up to their usual standard, and honestly, they can't close it out. It's gone into OT, so what can you really say about Rogue at this stage? You know, even when Shinobi's stepping up, the only person who has been a little bit quiet in this game has been Vice.
It's just looking back for me. Rogue have done decently well in the buy rounds. I won't say they've done amazing. They've done the job in most of the buy rounds that they've taken the rounds against Cloud9. That's why it always goes back down towards that singular play. There was one round where they forced up Armor and CZ. It set their economy back a little bit more. It's always a case of what if. Always the case where they try to gamble, doesn't pay off. There are some rounds which they shouldn't have been gambling, and they did, and it's actually just set them back further. And now we're in towards the first round of overtime where the Cloud9 stacked 3 towards Nana initially on, now moving Automatic back towards the A bomb site. They want the M4, they want the dynamic firepower that Automatic has brought towards the B bomb site to see if they can hold off towards A, because that is where Rogue is setting up for their execute.
Look at the rotation from Stewie, though. They've set up Skadoodle solo on that banana control. That is now his domain. He will re-smoke it as well, and basically they're going to be walking into a stack on the A-bomb site, so the entries are going to need to be pristine here from Rogue. Looks like just going to be a bit of a progression smoke up towards the library. It's going to kind of throw off Cloud9 as to what Rogue is doing. Skadoodle's actually going to fall back now that that smoke's been dissipated, but he's still going to be holding the Nano line, so he's going to have so much information, which is really going to enable Cloud9 to continue to play quite aggressive here. Tarek should know that jungle control is not being held by his team, but it's not really going to matter. Rogue don't hit their shots, and unfortunately, all that information that Skadoodle obtained, they weren't able to grab control of the banana. And I mean, after so many T rounds have gone past Kev on Inferno, you should really know at this point that if you don't take control of banana, then you can't just execute on A, because you're going to be most of the time running into a stack. I mean, it is fair to say that Cloud9 a lot of the time in the last half were just playing really passively on A, even though there was no Nana pressure, but the adjustment that they're making here is, it's really good, because Skadoodle's on form. I mean, you're leaving pretty much the guy who's playing the best on your team, who is the AWPer, to hold such an important part of the map, and I'd say that's a pretty damn good adjustment if you're looking to win this game.
Once again, Cloud9 take aggressive Nana control, very limited utility used as well before Stewie will float back towards CT spawn. The rest of Rogue maybe going a little bit faster this time around. There you have it, they're already fast up Diggity, but Automatic is ready and waiting, and so is Rush at Pit, where the rest of the Rogue members locked behind smokes and Molotovs. Nowhere for them to go. Hiko's just going to take 50 hit points of damage without even being spotted at all. There's another Molotov. He's going to have to probably make it out of there. Nothing that Rogue can do right now.
I don't know why Wrath and Vice are running straight up Diggity when Hiko's smoked off and half their team's playing pretty much in the back of mid towards brackets. Like, I just don't understand his decision making. Maybe they're overextending together a little bit too much. Maybe it's been called that they need to push out there, and then, you know, certain things weren't communicated or didn't really get processed by them in time in order for the correct call to be coming out. Because when Hiko's stuck behind a smoke and the other boys are sort of chilling in the back of mid, you don't really want to be running into a crossfire.
Yeah, Hiko's already too low. A single touch of the fire means that Hiko's gonna die.
I mean, Rogue is it's a bit of a harsh term to be throwing around, but they're pretty much throwing this OT. They're just smashing their way up Diggity into the A bomb site into a stack and crossfires without a proper positioning from their teammates and proper spacing in order to trade, and B, proper utility usage.
I would also argue as well, Cloud9 have slightly started to wake up. You know,
yeah.
Just a little bit. They've just, they're probably very sleepy beforehand, came in, were shocked a little bit by Rogue at what they brought to the table. Didn't really bring all their executes as well. And on the CT side, you don't really need to bring executes. You can just pop flash through, you know, as you'd say, make those dumb plays through the smoke. It works out really well for them most of the time. And from there on in, it's Rogue have been struggling. And
Look,
final round, if Rogue don't take this, oh boy, they're going down 3 overtime points.
B has been semi-successful for Rogue, so they're going to go in again. Looks like Hiko's entering once again, gets his head ripped off by Stewie, who gets 2 as well, Automatic trading out as well. So a 2 versus 3 again, which has been pretty commonplace, to be honest, but with KD and Alive, look, C9, you made this mistake before. Don't overextend into the wrong angles, or you'll give him...
They're not. That's the whole thing. They're waiting for Skadoodle to make his way up. They're dueling Vice. Why is Vice peeking out from first box through the edge of the smoke?
He's in a disadvantageous situation. He's got to go for it.
They're slowly got to isolate the lines. They know where Cadian is now. Cadian, there's a smoke hitting his body. Tries to make a shot. We'll just throw the Molotov on the bomb. Really smart play, but Tarek still has a smoke. We'll go on towards the bomb as well. They'll stick the defuse. There it is. 3-0 for Cloud9. Quite easy. Not much you can do in Cadian's position. And now they have 3 match points to work with on their own T side, and you just expect just something fast. Just go like Cloud9 just need a charge. That's why I said 2.5. Those are really insane odds, and I'm like, they shouldn't be giving Cloud9 those odds. I wouldn't be giving Cloud9 those odds, especially considering Rogue have been underperforming once again. And I say underperforming because we know what they can do, and that was not towards their level.
This is going to be a really hard problem for Rogue to be fixing going forward, Because this is one of those situations where you've got a couple of younger players and you're showing, you know, sparks of potential. You had a chance to win this game. In general, you've been having some pretty damn competitive halves with some of the upper tiers of NACS, but, you know, some of the inexperience showing through, you're sort of fizzling out a little bit. People are getting a little bit antsy, making mistakes, not hitting their shots like they should be, and that's really what's enabling Cloud9 to just win this game straight up. They're making some pretty smart adjustments. They went probably from their C- game up to their B+ game now, so...
That's about right.
Yeah.
Not fully sick everything yet. I still say the A+ Cloud9 game has not been
the
discovered
A+
yet.
Cloud9 game is potentially world-class, and we haven't ever seen it so far.
Well, what do you think their peak so far has been? I'd actually say it's A- or B+ at a fair reasonable
I'd say
guess.
their peak is probably... I'd say this isn't even B+, to be honest. If we're being realistic, yeah.
This is probably just a B. That's so, like, they're not... I don't see,
probably like a C+, considering the team that they're versing, really.
Oh, you're just changing the grades. It's like... I feel so harsh with Cloud9. It's like...
In the context of this game
True.
is what I mean.
In the context. Context is everything.
Context is everything.
But all you see is a Twitch clip just going, like, just two Australian guys going, look, Cloud9 is C+ at best.
Yeah.
No context whatsoever for the explanation, but they're just C+ at best.
Best way to get people triggered on a Friday evening, or is it a Thursday evening in America?
It is a Thursday evening.
On a Thursday evening. I should know that.
That you triggered again. You don't even know the time zones. Actually, time zones are pretty confusing over there. I'm not fully aware. I know of the vague time it is over there in a particular part of the States, and then another part it's going to be different because it is very different all across. And Skadoodle, oh my goodness, through the broken wall. That's effectively Rogue's chances definitely being put into the bin now.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, Tarek's going to grab another one. There's another one for Tarek. All right.
Sticking a fork, cranking it, we're done.
All right, Shinobi, let's see how much you can pad your stats.
None.
None?
Automatic is just going to be sitting there and just one-tap him.
So his stats padding is a F?
F.
F for... No,
okay.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
There you go. Let's go, Shinobi. One more, buddy.
Rating. One more, and then you can justify the ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skadoodle's not missed much today. So 19-15 victory for Cloud9. Rogue had a real opportunity, but it's the story of match day 14 all over again. The opportunities were dropped into a basket, and the basket broke.
The basket had a rubbish bin in it.
The basket was made by someone of basket weaving class who just started. It wasn't a very particularly rigid or structured basket.
Okay.
I'm a little bit sad. Like, I have been, you know, we've been lampooning Rogue, but really, like, when you get these opportunities, they don't come knocking that often. They've done so much hard work to get into a great position, and it was just a few critical rounds. And as he said earlier, nerves, a little bit antsy. It got to them at the end of the day. Cloud9, the caliber did kind of show towards the end as well. Their members are starting to fire up as well. And Rogue, at that particular point in time was up. There was nothing left.
Yeah, you can only pull out so many sick plays in a row, and especially, you know, when you're really relying on those rounds to be closed out. Cadian was really stepping up in the post-plants. Even Shinobi had some pretty good, like, post-plant scenarios and some pretty good moments to step up. He was getting double entries on 1 or 2 rounds. Hiko had a really good start to the game, but let's be real. I mean, he started out something sick like 20-6, and he ended up something like 26-22. So... you know, it's great to have a good start, but when you fizzle out that quickly and no one except for Cadian is really stepping up on the side of Rogue, not much you can really do. And Vice really cannot go missing in a game like this, where they're really relying on rounds to be closed out, because that seems to be his strength as a player.
That was such a huge round, because Rogue, they lost 4 in a row just then, and Hika was able to hold off for 2 rounds in a row on the B side, right? Well, first with no body armor, the second one with Rush. Oh my goodness, just one tapped.
Yeah, that was sick. Absolutely
Scream-esque as Wrath. I would have liked to seen a longer hold of Wrath on this one, because it would, like, he managed to get 4 kills in here and effectively solo-handedly win the last round on their CT side. And this is what I mean, Rogue.
After those 2 pistol kills from Hiko, he pretty much did nothing for the rest of the game. And that's the unfortunate part. He was really putting Rogue in it.
He got a few entries on the T side. This is the round where, all right, there was one close. They did really well to navigate the danger, right? Katie and Dias, well, Shinobi gets 2 trades in the MAC 10, down to 34 HP exactly. It comes in, gets taken out by Skadoodle. trades come forward once again, but then Rush and Tarek pushes to the smoke, takes down Hiko, who had the assault rifle, and Vice, I don't really think he had justification in peeking the angle.
Definitely
I know
not.
he wanted to back up Wrath in that position, and you don't really expect a CZ to hit that shot, to be fair, as well, at the same time of the day.
It's just the autopilot mentality from when you've just played too much Counter-Strike at that point. Your common sense isn't there. There were so many scenarios where Shinobi was just hitting those entries,
5v3.
man.
Where is the trade coming out? Where are the guns? There should be an AK train at that
Yeah,
position. You don't need to be throwing
absolutely.
that many grenades. And then Tarek just flashes through, gets 2 kills at that stage, back down towards a 2-on-2.
Yep. Totally agree. Too many situations where Rogue definitely could have just won themselves the game with a few less tiny mistakes, I would say. But give a team like Cloud9 an inch and they'll take a mile.
I mean, if Rogue didn't win this on the back of Cadian's play, they might have just lost in regulation time outright, but somehow they lose this one.
Ridiculous to say, man. Exactly. It seemed like that
This
was
was
so
an
far ahead.
like the next round was an eco from Cloud9, and Rogue lost it again.
I think it's just a question of stamina, like especially with these newer players sometimes, like they can have like such a sick start to a game and they can even keep it going over the majority of regulation, but around when it starts to get to around 24, 25 rounds and then you're starting to head into OT, the experience of the players who've, you know, just been playing series and series for months and years starts to shine through.
Decades.
Yep.
Decades? Probably not.
Nah, probably not.
Unless I could see Hiko
Unless you're
maybe playing for a
Hiko, in which
decade.
case you just go absolutely nuclear for the first little while, and then the fallout is unfortunately not great.
Wouldn't even blame Hiko at this stage. Like, the rest of the members do have to step up around him, and even towards the end, he was able to get a few entries alongside with Shinobi, but the good work was done. Where's the backup?
Yeah, Vice and Wrath sort of fizzling out towards the end of that game, and I mean, Cadian not really being the hyped member of Rogue heading into this lineup. People just being like, yeah, well, they needed an AWPer and they got another good AWPer because they lost Wardell to Ghost, which don't know how that's going for him.
Probably be a victory at this stage for Rogue so far, even though I haven't seen it, because Cadian has been on very, very good form. But so far, yeah, but that is it for map number 1. Cloud9 do close out in overtime. Stay tuned, though, because we'll be going on towards map number 2 between Rogue as well as Cloud9. We'll be right back. Stay here.